part 2, and we are going to launch our campaign. Now, if I was playing for the first time, I would take the campaign tutorial for the primaries. It kind of teaches you how to do things with the states before you start going against your opponent, but since I'm walking you through this, I'm going to skip that part because I can show you how to do it without the tutorial. Welcome to play. Okay, so I'm at my party's convention, and I have to pick my vice presidential candidate. So it tells me where they're from, their name, and what their strength is, kind of. But this is all just for your choice. It does not affect votes again. It's just, I like to get somebody that's kind of different than me, maybe from a different part of the country. They usually do that in a real presidential election too. Since I'm from Colorado, she's from Tennessee, that's pretty good, and she's popular with the young. She's from Massachusetts, that's pretty good. He's from Maryland, economy. Oh, she's from my state. Otherwise, I might be interested because she's a former teacher, but I think that's too close to me. Indiana, popular with older Americans. Sure, why not? Let's get the old people to all vote for me. I'm not sure that'll happen, but...
My vice presidential candidate is Clarkson.
And now they'll get excited.
To my excellent campaign staff, to my friends, and to my fellow citizens of this great nation, with deep gratitude and great humility, I accept your nomination to run for President of the United States. Let the race begin.
Yes, indeed. Now, they'll jump up again when I hit continue. I'm sure you notice how funny the little people look with their big heads, kind of like a bobblehead doll or a Funko doll, or people from The Sims is kind of how they talk at times, we'll find in the ads. All right, let's jump up and down. And then they're going to show us the other party in their convention.
My vice presidential candidate is Perez. It is an honor to accept your nomination to run for President of the United States.
Sure it is. Strange how only the people towards the very front ever jump up and down. Alright, so here's the face-off, and it shows you your issues that you like, their issues that they like, and then when we're trying to get states to go to our side, they need to either like our issues or dislike their issues, because then we can run an ad that's positive, or we can run one that's negative that attacks our opponent. And I'll show you what I mean. Alright, there's my campaign bus. Alright, so it randomizes who likes who. Every time it's different. Doesn't matter. Alright, so it's basically even when you start. The first thing you have to do on every turn is fundraise. That means you go to a state and ask for money. If you're lucky, the most you can earn is 3. So when I click on fundraising, any state that's blue, at least 51% blue, since I'm the Democrats this time, I can go to that state and get the money. 3 is the maximum, and if I get 3, then I'm perfect, because then I can spend $1 on polling. That means I can figure out what a gray state is. Is it red? Is it blue? Is it purple? Then I can run an ad on the media, and that helps me a little bit. It gives me one little donkey. And then if I go to a state for my other dollar, I can give a speech, and I can get 2 donkeys of momentum. And that'll make a lot more sense in a minute. We have 10 weeks till the election, so we have 10 turns to try and win. Alright, so having said that, we're going to fundraise in California. California, Texas, Florida, and New York are the big 4. They're the only states that have $3, so you always want to try and either keep those or win those to you. Or in this case, Texas, we don't even know who it likes, or New York. So we're going to try and figure that out. So I'm going to go to California, and they're going to give me money. Now my opponent goes and gets money, and they'll go to the biggest state they can find. All right, now if I have $3, I'm going to poll, which means I'm going to find out what one of the mystery states that's gray, what color it actually is. Always go to the state with the most electoral votes, points, however you want to look at it. Texas has 38, New York is next, then Pennsylvania and Illinois are tied. So I want to start uncovering these because even if they're not my color, I need to have time to try and persuade them to come to my color, to become blue states. All right, so I'm going to go to Texas, and you can always cross your fingers and hope it's your color, and half the time it's not. Not quite. It's 47%. If I can get to 51% or more, they're going to vote for me. So I need 4 percentage points, basically. Oh, well. Now they're going to go, oh, great. Awesome. They made a big mistake.
It's a sad day for the Democratic Party. The Republican presidential candidate was a big hit today.
Okay, well, they were a big hit because if you give a speech in a state like they did, and they like your speech, you get 2 momentum points each turn instead of 1. So speech is the most powerful thing. However, they went to Alaska. Alaska is worth 3 electoral college votes, or 3 points. That is nothing. I could not care less if they went to Alaska. I want them to go to Alaska and Hawaii. They don't mean anything. Texas is worth 38. Alaska is worth 3. Texas is so much more powerful. So I am going to look at Texas and see if they like any of my issues. They like caring for the poor and needy, and I think I chose that as an issue. I think I did. Boy, I hope I did. Let's find out. I'll choose speech, that's appearance. I'll go there. Yep, they chose that. So I have to go down here. If they like one of these, I choose it down here, and then I make my appearance. If they don't like any of my issues, then I hope that they don't like one of her issues. And in this case, they didn't, so I'm really lucky. I only have this one issue. Care for the poor and needy. So I go there, and I find the right answer. This one is the right answer. It says basically if the government can help keep people from being poor or help them out of being poor, shouldn't it do that? So I'm going to choose that. I'm going to give the speech, and they're going to love me.
It's a sad day for the Republican Party. The Democratic presidential candidate was a big hit today.
All right, so if they go to a little state, then you should be so happy.
It's a sad day for the Democratic Party.
All right, so that was a good example of an ad and how they make fun of how ads sound with the ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. However, they went and targeted a state that they already have as red. So I can do one of two things. I can either come here and talk about and do an ad for climate change and stop their momentum, so then it would be back to 0. It would stay the way it is. Or I can give up on Arizona and say, I don't care about their 11 votes. I'm going to go after something bigger that's not blue yet. So, unfortunately, I can't see all that many states. But if I said, hey, Florida is worth almost 3 times as much as Arizona, I could go just to Florida and do that. Now, having said that, I like to try and win as many points as possible. I am greedy, greedy, greedy. So, I'm tempted to go to Arizona and try and keep it where it is. No, I'm going to go to Florida. I'm just going to start winning Florida over, because the sooner I take Florida, the less money or the less chance they'll have of getting 3 dollars. So I have to go to media, and I'm going to go to Florida, and I'm going to do my climate change ad there. Climate change is real, and it threatens all of us. We need to act. Boom.
It's a sad day for the Republican Party.
All right, so it's okay to give up on a little state or a state that's really in the other person's color because it's going to take a lot of work to win it back. However, New York right here, I'm going to do everything I can to try and get New York because it's worth so many votes and it has so much money. So right now, they've got it locked up, but I'm going to try and take it from them because I want it. All right, so we'll go to the next week. We have 9 weeks left. It'll show you the momentum in every state, like going up or down. Ooh, and I just won Texas over. Isn't that marvelous?
If your popularity is low for a state right now, you can sway them in your favor by the end of the campaign if you get some momentum.
Wonderful. All right, so I'm going to go through the process one more time, and then I'm going to go really fast. All right, so I'm going to go fundraising. I'm going to find Texas because it's the other one that has $3. I know that she is going to go to New York because it's red and it has $3. So when I take away Florida and hopefully New York, suddenly I'll have a big advantage. If I have all the big states with $3, I will dominate. You can also speed up some things by skipping them if you want. I'm going to poll. I'm going to find the biggest states. Illinois and Pennsylvania have 20, so I'm going to find out. You hope they're your color be blue. Nope, not blue. Not quite. Not quite. But they like voting rights, so I will take them. Now, your opponent a lot of times will go and campaign
Today's efforts on the campaign trail went over extremely
first instead of polling first, even when they have $3. That is a mistake, and you should always take advantage. So they went to Louisiana. It has 8, and it's already red. I don't care. They can have Louisiana. I'm going to go to Pennsylvania or Florida or New York. So if I go to New York and do, let's see, cleaner immigration, prevent election fraud. I'm not sure if I have one of those. Let me see, because I want to take away New York. All right, so I have immigration reform, so I can do an ad for that. Great. So let's do an ad for immigration reform. This one's about voting. This one's about guns. So this one is definitely it.
The Democrats are serious opponents for the Republican Party.
Yes, they are.
Citizens have been hoping that the Republican presidential candidate would address some
Okay,
heavier
so
issues,
they
but
were already
unsatisfied.
they were already winning Arizona, and they picked an ad, but they picked the wrong answer or the wrong topic, and Arizona didn't care about it. So do you see how the momentum was won, and now it's still won? So they wasted that completely. That's great. They don't do that very often, but when they do, you just take advantage and go after something you really want. All right, so I'm going to go, my momentum, if I click up here, I have momentum in New York, Florida, Texas, which I already have. So I'm going to go for Pennsylvania. So I'm going to try and start winning that over. And in 2 turns, I should be able to win it over because I'm going to get 2 points this turn and then 2 points next turn if they don't stop me. All right, voting rights is important. So I'm going to go there. And I'm going to find the right answer, which is this one. Even though it's slightly silly, but it's mostly not. It's correct.
It's a sad day for the Republican Party. The Democratic presidential candidate was a big hit today.
Didn't you like that the ad had little rabbits and deer in it? Wasn't that cute? All right, so they're going to open up Illinois, and hopefully it's blue. Yes, it's blue by 1 point. So if nothing happens, I'm still winning Illinois. That is great. 20 is a lot. Anything with double digits is worth trying to win. Maybe something smaller at the end. Right, so I am losing some states. They have more momentum in some, but I don't care about those.
Remember, it's still early in the campaign, so anything can happen.
All right, I'm going to start this turn and point out one important thing, and then I will skip to the end. I won't make you watch my whole game. All right, so I'm going to fundraise. This one's going to have one more dollar next turn. It grows a dollar back every turn, so I'm going to wait on that. And this one is only got one, so unfortunately I'm going to have to pick a state that only has 2 this turn. After this turn, hopefully I'll have Florida maybe, and then I'll have 3 different states to go back. Once you have 3 states with $3, you can just rotate them and you're going to have 3 every turn. But I'm going to have to choose Illinois. All right, so once you've got momentum in a state and you know that you're going to win it, if nothing changes, don't keep putting time and money into it. Like if I know Florida's going to turn for my party in 2 turns, I don't need to do anything. Just let the momentum keep going in that state. However, sometimes when you go to a state, you might go to a state and find that they don't like any of your topics and they don't dislike any of your opponent's topics. So let's say none of these matched mine. That would be very bad because then I couldn't do a positive ad, and in fact they don't like any of mine. However, they have peace through strength here, so I could do a negative ad about this, or I could do a negative ad about gun rights. But if they didn't have any of these matching these, then I can't change that state's mind, and I would just have to give up on it. So there can rarely be a case where you can't change a state to your side. It almost never happens, but it does happen, so I wanted to point that out. I've had that be California before, and it broke my heart, but oh well. I still won that game, I think. All right, so I'm going to stop the recording here, and then I will record the last section on the last couple turns when I'm close to the end. And I hope that you're getting the hang of it, because once you get the hang of it, it's even more fun.